Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Lance, here with my other host, Matt. And today we have a special guest join us today, Andy.
Hello.
Andy, this is your first time joining us today. We like to typically ask newcomers, what's your favorite anime? What got you into anime? You got a top 3 to give us or anything?
I got a top 2, so I started off with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon.
Fair.
I did not get into Dragon Ball Z like most people.
Okay.
I wish I would have.
That's fair.
I mean, Lance didn't either. He just got into the games. So
Yeah, it took me a long time to give the anime an official try.
Yep.
But I do think I missed out on Dragon Ball Z because I would have liked it a lot.
That's fair.
You still got time. You can get into it now. It's okay.
Yeah.
What would you say your number one anime is?
Probably Yu-Gi-Oh! For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Playing the card game as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was such a fucking slap back then.
Yes.
Episode 1, too.
Right off
They
the
hit
bat.
you right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah, Exodia was introduced in episode 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that now.
I don't, but that's okay.
Yeah, they started hard.
Gotta get you into it. Card games were not very popular back in the day.
No. Well, thanks for that quick introduction. Every episode we like to introduce what we're drinking. Today I will be sticking with the local Timekeeper brand, and I am going to be sipping on some Timekeeper straight bourbon whiskey alongside with their canned Barcart Bee's Knees. It's like a gin and honey kind of mixture going on, and it's really good. What about you, Andy? What are you drinking?
I'm also doing the Bee's Knees, which is really great, actually. And I am doing the Bourbon Blade and Bow.
Okay. Yeah, I liked it. What do you think about it?
Super great. Super smooth. Spice. I like it.
Nice. I think that was our third choice. I think when we went through 5 of them, I think that was our third choice.
Yeah, this goes back to when Matt's parents came back with a handful of whiskey off of their Kentucky bourbon trail.
Yep.
Yeah, so they brought back a lot of really good whiskey. Yeah, this was a good one.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Matt? What are you drinking over there?
I am also drinking a Bee's Knees, and then I'm drinking some Willet. Haven't had it in a while. Feel like it's a good time for it.
Yep, and that's coming right from that Kentucky trail as well.
Yep, definitely need to do that, but that'll be for another day. Let's get into this. Lance, you want to give us the synopsis?
Sure. So today we are going to be following our main character, Haruto. After dying in a bus accident, he is partially reincarnated and finds himself as a young boy named Rio. After rescuing a princess, the king grants Rio a spot at a school where he spends 5 years learning. He then falsely gets charged for pushing the princess off a cliff and decides to flee after being the actual hero. He soon runs into another reincarnate, Latifa, who joins in his journey, and then Rio continues his journey and learns of his parents' true identity in this new world, obviously. And we find that he has a spirit that slept inside him who comes to life. And we're gonna end season 1 with pretty much saving a main character from a wedding. So that's everything we're gonna be covering for season 1 material.
Yeah, kind of. There's one more thing that happens that at the very, very end that we'll talk about.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Last couple seconds of the show.
We'll definitely talk about that in the future.
Yes. And as always, we have Lance's lessons. I'm curious of what we got today.
Today's Lance's lessons is going to be the Japanese word for slums. Slums is suramu. Suramu is spelt Suramu. And Suramu is relevant to today's episode because Rio is basically coming into conscious while he's in the slums. So I thought today's episode
Is brought to you by?
is brought to you by the slums. Yeah, so we're going to go with that one.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Rio came into consciousness in the Sumeru.
Perfect.
No, in Japanese? The whole thing?
Rio consciousness. I don't know all these words.
Word of origin?
Sushin.
Or country of origin? Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to skip over all this. I'm not that good at Japanese, even though I'm trying to teach you guys. But yeah, Suramu. We're going to go with that one for today's episode.
Awesome. Thank you.
Right. And one last introduction. Matt likes to read the manga for every episode that we cover. Was there any differences between the manga and the anime?
NANI?!
Absolutely. For anybody that is curious, this started off as a light novel. I'll say just read the light novel. That's typically what happens when you get an anime that is based off of a light novel. always get much more information. But as far as the manga is concerned, season 1 ends on about chapter 34. I'm going to say this now. The wedding doesn't happen in the manga until much later.
Oh,
like significantly later. Basically, I say 34 is where they meet the 3 people that are brought in from Japan.
Okay.
So that is where 34 ends. And yeah, if we cover season 2, I'll just repeat myself. Basically, he follows like that. She's not in the picture for a while. We'll just put it that way.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes me interested. Is season 2, I mean, obviously season 2 is already out, but none of us
Correct.
have watched it, so we can only speculate. That makes me kind of wonder if what we saw at the end of season 1 is going to be any kind of backstory that happened alongside his journeys, because there was some low moments between him traveling that we never got to see the full scope of.
No.
No?
It continues with the story.
Okay.
It kind of I watched like 3 episodes of season 2. It basically follows along what would the manga be, but they just have her in everything that happens.
Interesting. Okay, so the wedding deal was just much earlier in the anime than
Correct.
it should have been. Okay.
Then we find out that Rio didn't go on the kidnapping, escapade, adventure, whatever you want to call it, because he had a fever. He was sick, so that's why he didn't end up going. You see a girl that gives him some copper coins in the hut to get some food. She says that he is very sweet and that when he becomes of age, they're going to get married. Basically, she's older. She ends up getting killed by the assassin as well.
Damn, I was going to say,
she,
is this some kind of promise that's going to see her in the future? Or?
No, she real dead.
Okay.
And then, okay, so this is actually going to be something kind of important. Miharu never returns home after. So you remember when it's so Haruto is at the college and he sees Miharu talking to this guy and he kind of stands there. He gets on the bus and then he dies.
Just for our listeners, Miharu is the girl he made a promise with in episode 1.
Correct. So he sees her. She never actually goes home. So I am thinking the series of events actually happens basically at the same time.
Okay.
But just there's like a time lapse in between when Rio basically grows up and when Miharu and the rest of them are isekai'd to the world.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense because we all saw at the end they're coming from Japan as themselves with their electronics and stuff.
At the same age.
At the same age, yep.
So that's theory. Nothing's actually definitive, though. Rio actually explains his background to the king. So about his mother and all that information. Basically why he's in the slums. Okay. Not that he's from Japan.
Okay, interesting.
The private lessons that Rio was having was to help him learn to read and write.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah. Rio's fight with the guard that tortured him was much shorter. Basically, the guy lost in 2 swings. Like, he took a swing to pseudo-threaten him, and then Rio's like, all right, I'm going to finish this, and then finished it.
Well,
yeah, it was super, super short.
Which most of the fights in are very short.
Yes. Rio also gets into a fight at one of the inns that he's staying at. Basically, people pick a fight with him. He gets into a fight. Nothing more beyond that. You learn about what the letters that Rio is sending, like what they actually say. Nothing of importance. So Latifah actually spoke Japanese in her sleep. That is how Rio knew that she was reincarnated.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, obviously it makes more sense hearing about this now after we learned at the very end of episode 12 where we're essentially listening to a bunch of gibberish and we're like, what the hell are we listening to? And then all of a sudden you hear recognizable sounds like, oh, you can actually speak Japanese. Like, okay, that makes sense. So putting these two parallels together,
yep,
totally appreciate that.
All the village elders were once slaves that were released by various humans. The crystal that Rio gets from the village is a higher end version of a magic crystal. So basically just what they have is better than what the humans have. So when Rio gets to the village where his parents are from, the girls weren't taking a bath when Gon stopped by. They were just kind of out and about with Rio. Like, basically all the fan service stuff that happens doesn't happen in the manga.
Okay.
They talk about a tale that is passed down about a heroic king called Ryo. He defeated the Demon King but the village was destroyed in the process. So basically all of the villagers turned on Ryo, saying that he wasn't a hero. And the people of the village believe that Rio is basically this age's Ryo.
Okay, makes sense. You can see where they think that.
Yep. Gon and his crew were charged with what they were attempting to do, and Gon became a crime slave, and the other two were contracted slaves. So they both, or all three of them, were slaves.
Okay,
So that's what we were seeing them, is that they were going off to be slaves.
good. They deserved it.
Yes. Yeah, don't feel bad for them.
Yeah, screw those guys.
The inspector was a samurai, and he was young, like not this old dude that they had.
Okay.
But it didn't make any sense. Basically, he was slightly older than Rio, kind of samurai.
Okay, sure.
He was the son of the strongest person from the town where Rio's mom's parents are rulers over. So that guy that he had to fight, it was his son that was the inspector.
Oh, okay. The one that had the powers?
Yep.
Okay. Sacred arts? Is that what the powers are called?
I don't know,
Special
actually.
arts?
Special arts?
Special arts.
I think it was special arts.
Special art.
Remember
Yeah.
arts? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Sayo, it was the love interest in the village. One way love interest. Didn't wait for Rio at the gate. She hid off kind of behind some trees as Rio was saying goodbye to everybody.
Did she at least go talk to him? Or was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just
She did, but it was like super awkward and everything.
Okay.
Rio had a necklace that changes his hair color, not this weird studded earring that we can get into that as well.
Oh, that's a big
Not
interesting
really.
difference. It's not
It's
a
a-
big
it's-
one, but it's an interesting difference.
I think it's more a visual reminder that he can do that versus if it was a necklace, it'd be tucked in all the time.
Could
I
be,
don't
yeah.
know. So then Rio doesn't appear while the spirit doesn't appear while Rio is at the tree village. It happens after he rescues the people from Japan.
Oh, that's a big time difference.
Yeah.
Is she still naked?
Yeah.
Does the events happen the same?
The events happen the same.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
he gets woken up, but then it's his, love interest of Miharu that catches him.
Oh, that's
With a naked
way
girl.
more dramatic.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think that would have been a lot more interesting if they followed that one.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, then they could have had Claire catch him too, but that's
Celia, the professor.
Yeah.
Oh, just before we get too far, if you're saying Claire, was the manga referring to her as Claire?
she wasn't really around except for like a handful of chapters. So
Oh, okay, good point. Yeah, as far as the anime goes, there's always Professor Celia.
Yep.
So yeah, the Claire family. She said that just a small handful of times. More importantly, towards the end of the anime, but
Yep. So then Rio gets to a town and the pillar of lights appear and the spirit inside of him tells him where he needs to go. So that's how he figures out kind of where he needs to go. And yeah, that's really about it.
yeah, before we get too deep into what season 2 might be, and then finally get into what the wedding was,
Yeah.
for as far as the manga goes.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, the wedding is brought up. I read a couple chapters beyond. It gets brought up later, but it has not happened up to the point of where season 1 stops.
So they had a lot of differences.
That's pretty crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the necklace idea.
Yeah. Yeah. The necklace idea makes more sense, especially because, never mind. I can't say that because it's stuff in season 2. And it'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah. No, that makes more sense.
Oh, well, either way, I was totally on board with it being an earring at first too, because
Yeah.
I don't know, it adds a little bit of bling to his ear or something.
Just pierce his ear right there. Just
Right.
Okay. Well, here it goes. This is what I'm wearing from now on. Yeah. No, it's not it's a necklace. Which
Okay.
makes more sense.
Well, great. Thanks for those differences.
Yes, absolutely. Nothing super crazy until the very end. Yeah, the very end. That's if we cover season 2. That's I feel like what I'm going to be talking about. It's like, yeah, all these things. Well, I already mentioned it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get into season 1 of Spirit Chronicles. I kind of want to just start off and be like, all right, so what'd you think?
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat. Let's get it knocked out of the way.
Slow
right.
burner.
Slow burner. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I'll be the first one to knock a couple pins down. The first couple episodes were a little rough.
Yeah.
For anybody that's listened to us this far, I typically don't care for little kids acting super goddamn smart and super, super proper. Because episode 1 and 2, we were following around like these 8-year-olds, anywhere between 8 and 12, and they're insanely proper, and it bothered me a lot. But I knew we were covering this. Season 2 was not only announced, but it's recently, or it was at this point in time, season 2 is done.
Yeah, season 2's all the way done.
So it had a degree of hype to it. So I'm like, okay, if season 2 is out, it's got to be good enough. So I powered through it.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, and it took a couple episodes, but yeah, a little rough. But it did get good. Eventually, it did get a lot gooder. It never got absolutely amazing, but it did progressively get better and better with every episode. I did get a little bit more interested with every step that went through.
The more characters we got, the more the story got expanded upon.
Mm-hmm.
It got more interesting. I don't know if I'd say it got better, but it got more interesting.
That's what I was saying, gooder. Just a little small step below better.
So going back off of like how they talk when they're young,
Mm-hmm.
it is confusing because he did lose his parents when he was young.
Yep.
So where did he learn to talk so proper?
Well, he's 19/20, like 20 something.
Oh, I'll fight you on that one because I was taking notes on what his age should be.
He was 17 when he died.
Oh, you're going back to his real life. Okay.
Yeah, because if he's got those memories,
Okay.
mentally he has the fortitude of somebody that's older, which is why he talks the way he does, which I think he explains like, oh, well, that explains why you talk the way you do, because you were an adult when you died. Like, yeah.
He's got 2 sets of memories in him.
Yeah.
That actually is a good point. So.
Yeah. At least in his case.
Yes.
For all the other little princesses running around.
Well, one was the second princess, so she's like the queen to be kind of thing. So they probably were like, all right, you are at the moment you start talking, you are going to say things exactly as they need to be said.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I kept telling myself. Like, this sounds like it was in the, like, I can't say even like the ye olden days. Like, this is beyond
ye olden days.
The ye olden days. So that threw me off so bad.
Yep.
Didn't like it. One thing that I always like to say is I would have appreciated this a lot more if we started out with at least teenagers and then they grew into adults. Starting out with 8-year-olds, just...
I also love the fact that they believed the 10-year-old and was like, yeah, that guy pushed the queen off. But the queen's behind him. Like,
yep.
Nothing happened to the queen. Where did this series of events that supposedly happened when she's like, no, I'm fine. I'm here. I'm good.
Yeah, they just had to start listening to the aggressive asshole who's just trying to cover his own ass.
It's like the monkey from Family Guy that's just starting pointing with the evil face.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
What are you guys also thinking about this? Like, I've already knocked down the pin saying it was a hard start. Andy, you started that out too as a slow burn.
Yeah.
There was one point during the episode too where they kind of went 5 years ahead, but there wasn't like it didn't tell you they went 5 years ahead. It just happened.
Yep.
Which was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was like, and it's been 5 years. I'm like, all right, okay.
I mean, I was at least happy that there was a big time jump because didn't want to already get more annoyed with youngins.
Yeah, if we had to watch him like go to school for even 3 episodes as a child, I would have been like, oh my God. I probably would have texted you and been like, yeah, we're not finishing this.
Yeah, let's choose something new real quick.
At least we got time. I'm not doing this.
No, totally fair. Anything else, Matt?
It was fine. It was your very generic isekai. Like it's your generic, like, overpowered harem isekai is what this is.
Yeah. I would also throw in, like, oddly romance.
It's fine. That's the best way to put it. It's okay. Nobody's really memorable.
Not too much. I would like to say that this might be a really decent anime to get introduced into the anime world. Like, there's nothing too crazy
It's easy.
It's just easy, yeah. So it's something to just ease into. It's not going to be like your shonen attention grabber, for sure, for a lot of the crazy people out there like us are that just need that constant action. But this does have all those romance things. Everything's happy-go-lucky. You want a happy ending. The drama's low-key.
Yes.
It's there, but it's never actual drama.
Yeah, he's wanted, but he gets away with no issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go the rest of the season until the last episode, until he has this chase out of the kingdom, and even that wasn't very difficult. So
yeah. It took me until at least my second rewatch in order to put all these pieces together about the timeline and why people mattered and why people have their issues.
Yep.
Like when we got to the wedding and Sir Charles or whatever his name was, why he was on, I don't want to say Rio's hit list, but why they had a disdain towards each other. And that's because I totally forgot that this husband-to-be was the one that beat him up as a child trying to get answers out of the princess being captured in episode 1.
Yep.
And then he was also the same guy who had the duel with him.
Yep.
And then lost, and then he got all mad and like got drunk. And then that red-eyed guy was like, "Oh, you let him win." And then he's drunkenly like, "Yeah, I let him win." So like he hated Rio from the very beginning, and then we get to see him at the end quite a few years later. Like, who is this guy again? Why do we know him to some degree? And it took me the second watch to be like, oh yeah, it's that guy. And
he's just shaking his head like, yep.
Yep.
That's 100%.
100.
Yeah. So as a not super anime watcher, this is a good introduction to anime. So what did you like? Is this getting you interested in other things, or is it gonna be like, yeah, no, I should have watched something else to begin with?
It was a good one to start off with. I will say that it was easy for me to pound out the episodes and watch it. And the only thing I told Lance I didn't like was like the 10-second fight scenes in it.
Yeah.
He just turns it on. He'll like get hit a few times and then he just turns it on and
like
wipes them all out.
The wyvern fight. It's like, oh.
Wyvern. Yeah, I was telling you about that.
Yeah, that was it had a nice build up. The hype was starting to get real. We're going to fight a fucking dragon. And then just boom, one shot. Oh, his mouth was his weak point.
Yeah, his mouth's the weak point. First attempt.
Yeah.
It's like, I just took a guess. That's an oddly specific guess, but okay.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a letdown. Yeah, these fights, they were a little lackluster.
Yes.
They did get a little bit more interesting more towards the end with that red-eyed guy.
Yes.
I don't remember his name right now. Well, we can see it in just a second. But that dude's very interesting. We got to see him in the final episode blast out some big, dark energy blast at Rio.
Risu?
Rice? Was that the Rice guy? No, that's Mr. Rice, yeah.
Risu Vu Orofu. They might say Rice, but it's Riss.
Right, yeah, I'm seeing it right now too. Yeah, me and Andy were just finishing the last couple episodes, and yeah, they pronounce it Rice.
Okay.
Because I remember kind of specifically because the shitty closed caption subtitles that were popping up, they was RICE, and like,
oh, okay,
close, but like you're trying. So yeah, they kind of pronounce it Rice.
All right, yeah, Rice, Mr. Rice.
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna talk about any kind of favorite characters,
okay,
cannot claim him as a favorite character because we know so little about him.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you want the one bad guy in the show, like the one real bad guy in the show.
But he's most definitely the person I'm most interested in.
Okay.
Because this guy, he's pulling a lot of sketchy things throughout the entire season.
Yep. Stealing wyvern eggs.
Mm-hmm. That's
about all we got. But yeah.
Pretty much that. He can sense the magic from a distance, so he knew Rio was in the area.
The red pill.
Yep. He gave out 2 of those red. No, wait. He wasn't the one that gave out a red pill in the first episode, was he?
I would assume he was. We don't see. No, he is because he's like, and this pawn is useless or something along those lines.
Yeah. Then he like crushed something, and then
he crushed one of the red pills, and the guy died.
Yeah, I want to know more about these red pills.
Did Rio give the girl? What was the girl at the college again?
Professor
Celia.
I'm running a blank on this. Matter, is this coming?
That is not. I don't think it was a red pill.
What was it? It was something red. He gave it to her, and he was like, "Here, take this. If you ever need me."
Oh no! So he gave the girls like a red stone.
Yes,
and it was a barrier for when Gon was going to come and molest the 2 girls.
Okay, that's what it was.
Okay.
Right.
It was just his way to get the girls to have something that would be a barrier.
Okay.
Yeah, because Andy and I were coming here and like he pulled out. I'm like, I don't remember him giving a pill away to anybody because that sounds pretty crazy. But
I thought it was like a gemstone at first, and then I was like, maybe it was a pill. I don't know.
No, your initial thought was correct.
Andy, did you walk away with a favorite character?
I mean, it's tough to have because you don't know too much about anybody, really.
You get to know like 3 characters. You get Latifah, you get Rio, and then you get Celia. That's really about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to take Rio.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He is literally the only character you can like. And like Latifah, she's she's got all the signs of a young girl that has been abandoned, and it gives room for growth. Well, we can say that much.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Latifah was very interesting in the beginning because, yeah, we did get to see her grow, but we also saw her with that slave collar on, and she was a badass under that collar. So I'm wondering, is it her beastkin like nature that she was that good when she was fake growing up after she got reincarnated? Like, did she go through some sorts of training? Like, are we gonna like overlook the fact that she was a badass for a minute, or?
Yeah, I think that we're just gonna that didn't actually happen. We're just gonna act like that.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if that was the actual case, but it does make me wonder, like, how many other people are gonna be pretty fucking sweet.
It would be great if there were more, but I feel like that's not going to be a thing.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Matt, did you have any kind of gravitation towards anybody?
Rio. That was the only character that I was like, oh, yeah, he's kind of interesting, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, this show is... Like, I enjoyed... Yeah, no. Like, the love interest girls from the village were... meh.
I'm half surprised that there wasn't a love interest between him and his cousin. A lot of anime tend to do that sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there was a one-sided love interest between that one dude's sister and all. Like they went on basically an official date, and like that's understandable. But at the same time, like there's plenty of anime out there that like, oh yeah, you're my cousin, so we're not that related. So I think we should get together.
It's Ruri.
Ruri, yeah. Yeah, Ruri.
And of course, the picture that they've got on this website is the one where she's walking, like the first day where she's walking out and her kimono is like basically open. Yeah,
that's right. That's arguably the most memorable moment for her.
Yeah.
It's not like he doesn't have a bunch of girls to pick from, though.
He has all the girls.
All of them, yeah.
All of them.
Literally every single one of them.
Every town he goes into, 2 or 3 of them, and then leaves.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, I can't love you.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't love me? I want to be with you anyways. I can't love you.
Okay.
All right, well, on the topic of love.
I want the dead girl.
So we kind of finished this season with him saving Celia, and we're like, okay, these two are going to end up together. And then we close out the season with the introduction of Miharu again.
The only drama that happened in the entire show.
The only actual heart-hitting drama.
Yes.
So it makes me just question, where's the love drama going to be for the next season? Like, do you think he's going to chase after Celia, or do you think he's going to lean towards Miharu?
Do you think he's going to out himself?
Like right away, like, hey, how was that boy?
Hey, I'm...
Well, the prince gets 7 wives, so maybe he's just stocking them up.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
Haruto. Yeah. Hey, I'm Haruto.
Right.
I'm the person you said you were going to marry when we were kids in Japan. Let's go run off and get married. I don't think that's happening.
No, just going off of Japanese tendencies, and especially with these kind of shows, like they never share the obvious right away. It's always got to be halfway through or towards the end of the next season before he reveals like, who he actually is to Miharu. So I wouldn't be surprised if it did take that long for Miharu to learn exactly who he is.
Okay.
So I think he's going to baby step his way around. I think he's going to feel embarrassed to even talk to her most of the time.
Okay.
And I don't know, I kind of wanted your guys' thoughts on which way he might lean. Because he's got more recent history with Celia.
Yeah.
But he's got...
Kind of. It's been like 4 years.
Oh, yeah. There's also that 4-year gap. Good point. But then there's an even larger gap between him and Miharu, because last time they met were when they were little children making grand plans.
He made that grand provocation.
That's fair. Yeah, because he said, I'd protect you even after I die. And technically, he died.
He sure did.
So this is the chance for...
and then he protected her after he died.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so he did exactly what he needed to do, so she's done. She's over.
Yep, I saved you. You're good. Go.
Game over.
Or do you think that he's going to go back to that village and go marry, let me find her name real fast, go marry the Sayo.
The sister of the other boy?
Yeah.
No. He said multiple times in that episode that he can't return the favor.
I don't love you. All right,
it's just short of saying you ugly.
You look too much like my cousin. Yeah, I don't. I think he's gonna have a harem, but he's just gonna be like, I love all of you equally.
I can't decide.
Yes,
so I choose all of you.
Yeah,
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised with this, especially if it's gonna be in.
Well, he's a noble, so he can also have concubine. Yeah, he's just gonna get married to all of them. That's what it's gonna be. That's how he's going to get around it. I'm going to take over where my grandparents are. I'm going to be the next king. All of them are my wives.
Yeah, that's a good thing to keep in mind, too, is that he is kind of technically a noble through his mom.
Not kind of. He 100% is nobility because he's the only child.
Right. I'm only saying that because he made a comment saying that, like, well, my mom is, but I'm not. But, like, technically you are, but, like, he's not, like...
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Claiming. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't want to be. No, you are. That doesn't change anything. I really hope he comes back and was like, actually, I'm the king of this town, so all the things that you said I didn't do, and you guys can go fuck yourselves. And, like, forget about whatever they're building up. No, I want him to go back to, where did he get kicked out of? Was it, is it Beltram? The Beltram Kingdom? Is that where he's wanted for?
Oh, I'm running a blank on that one.
Yeah, I hope he just is like, yeah, actually, I'm nobility. I don't give a crap what you guys say. I didn't kill the princess or attempt to kill the princess when I was 10 years old.
All right, so I was very curious real quick. I just Googled. Season 1 covers about the first 4 books of the light novels.
Okay, out of
25 in total.
God damn.
So there's a shit ton of information out of this.
God damn.
So we can speculate quite a fucking bit on what's going to happen here. So him and his royalty background is definitely going to come back into play in the future.
Yeah, that's probably going to like tie everything together.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like, oh, the demons here and the 6 pillars of light are actually weak. It's the 7th pillar of light that wasn't in the prophecy, that it was Rio the whole time, and Rio is going to kill the demon, and then he's going to be like, I'm a noble, so you all worship me, and then it's happy-go-lucky and with his 8 wives.
Yeah, with these demi-humans, they might as well introduce some demons.
So it's kind of like the Lion King all over.
Kind of, yeah. They do, so in my manga section, they do talk about a hero killing the demon.
Oh, yep, sure.
So it is a part of the lore, and we have those monsters that the kids get attacked by.
Oh yeah, in like episode 2 or 3 before.
Yep.
He like fakes his death and runs away.
Yes. So we do know that there's monsters at the very minimum.
Right.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be how the story goes. Is the prophecy is going to come true, but it's going to be the 7th pillar, and it's going to be Rio, and all the people that are summoned from the other worlds are going to be weak assholes, and it's going to be kind of like Tsukamichi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone's just going to be weaker than he expects, and he's just overpowered. Speaking of overpowering, like his arts technique kind of just fucking explode. Like, obviously we knew in episode 1, like, he had the magic potential, and like the first half of the season, we didn't see him do much of anything.
Well, spirit arts and magic are 2 different things, though.
Oh, they didn't go hand in hand?
Yeah, so when the when the elders are talking, they say, you can't use magic, can you? And because the spirit arts suppresses the ability to use magic.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that, because I kind of assumed they were the same, and I thought Rio was just like faking himself, dumbing himself down all throughout school. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy over here, we can all use magic. I mean, all of us except Rio.
Yeah.
And we're like, but he's got an aura that, like, obviously we know he has something. But okay, so there is a clear difference between the arts and actual magic.
Correct.
But that's good to know.
What about the bracelet that you can carry a whole house in?
Oh, so that is just a magical item.
Can you store people in it?
I would assume you could. I don't.
That'd be starting to get pretty crazy. It just transport a whole world of things.
Yeah, with you. And then teleport crystal.
Well, he has the teleport crystal. So is he gonna? I guess that I'm assuming he's going to bring the people from Japan to the village, because that's like the only place he really trusts people from.
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming he's just going to use that teleportation crystal.
Do we know if this is a one-time use crystal, or is it just a multi-use?
It is a one-way crystal.
Right.
So they can only go to the tree village.
Right. But I just want to throw this out there for dramatic effect. Like,
but there's nothing dramatic in the show.
Okay, good point. So this is going to be a multi-use item.
Yeah, it's a one-way. It's a one-way street.
Yeah. Just
to the tree.
Yeah, just like they were explaining. Totally go on board with that. It'd be way too powerful if he can just teleport wherever he wants. This dude's already flying halfway.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really interested to see how overpowered he can get in the near future, because he already is basically there. He's throwing out fireballs. He's throwing out wind slashes. He can fly. His telepathy's really good.
I'm assuming he can use all of the elements, because his spirit can use all of
Aishia.
the elements.
Yeah, Aishia is already a fucking badass.
Oh, yeah, I guess we have 4 characters because we have her
Yeah.
that we know about,
Yeah, definitely interested in her.
I guess.
Yeah, she's like the only one that made a combat scene worth really commenting on. And that's saying a lot for a little because it still only lasted like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Stop. You're going to destroy the village. Oh, okay. They couldn't have had a fight outside the village. Like, we had to do it right in front of everybody's houses.
Yeah, me and Andy were covering the last episode at our house before we came here. And during the runaway at the wedding, all the guards were just shooting haphazardly at Rio. And he's jumping from house to house. And these houses are taking on some major damage. It's like, well, fuck all of these houses. We need to make sure we get him.
Yeah, fuck those houses.
Yeah. It actually started making me think of Assassin's Creed for a moment.
A little bit, yeah.
You're just jumping from rooftop to rooftop, getting attacked.
That was a good fight scene, though. The last one.
Yeah.
But they didn't finish it, though. He ran.
Right.
So I wish that one would have got finished a little more, but...
Yeah, there could have been a lot more.
It's going to take till season 3 to get good fight scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's going to be a slow burn until...
Yeah.
They're really getting that story in.
Yeah, there's going to be like 5 seasons in, and then you're just have that one epic battle that's going to last like 5 episodes long. That's going to make this entire series worth watching. Like, no, dude, trust me. Get through all the beginning. It all makes sense in the end.
All right, so One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece.
Get through 300 episodes, and then it gets good. Then it all makes sense after that point. It's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'd rather watch 1,000 episodes of One Piece than have to like watch eight seasons of this again.
That's another slow. Yeah. Oh, we can only have the hopes that it gets good because, like we said, season 2's out. We haven't finished it, but
yeah,
we can only.
The concept is interesting.
There's a hype enough there.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm hoping season 2 is better than season 1.
Yeah, and I brought this up for us to watch because Crunchyroll suggested it to me.
Yeah, it suggested it for me too.
It did? Okay, yeah. So like it was pushed, and then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give it a try. I'm like, and here we are.
The internet's like, yeah, I'm so excited for season 2. Season 2 is great. I'm like, all right, well, people are excited for it. Let's see what the hype is about. The hype was about something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can only hope that the light novel was a lot more interesting than what the anime did.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Andy, as he's taking a drink. Did you have a favorite moment?
Favorite moment?
Because there's not too many fight scenes, so we can't really talk about favorite fight scene. Because like the favorite character, we'd all be trying to say the same one. So let's go moments.
So what kind of sucked me in was halfway through when the guy was stealing the wyvern eggs. That whole scene where he got on the griffin.
Yep.
Cracked the red pill, he dies. And then just the fight scenes in there, because there was like 3 different fight scenes in there.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I was like, oh, okay, this is a good turn.
Let's see where... to peak,
yeah, then it went up, and then I was like, no, let's go back to what got us here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the first actual exciting moment.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of find out what he is planning to do with the wyvern eggs. I think that's going to play a part in...
Absolutely.
Yeah, the red-eyed guy?
Yeah.
Yep. I'm very curious about him specifically, because we got a little bit at the end. He shot off that super powerful blast at Rio from super far away. We're like, oh, okay, maybe, and then nothing.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Lance?
The one that's coming to my mind right now, I can't even put a name to him, but we talked about him earlier in your manga mentions. With the father of the guy that was going around, the young samurai guy.
Yes.
So he had to fight the leader of this little crew. It was like, if you're gonna go try to kill your parents' killer, you take on this guy instead. Test your skills.
Correct.
So he was fighting him, and then that dude started pulling out some arts, some magic powers, and then like Goki's his name.
Yep.
Okay, so he's fighting him, and then you just assume that he's just some low end kind of fighter, but then we actually got surprised that there is more people out there that have these kind of powers, and they don't have to be royals to any kind of degree.
Yep.
Like they're just living their lives. So I really liked that. It was a nice basic fight, and it picked up when I didn't expect it. So I really liked that moment.
That one's fair. That's a good choice.
What about you, Matt? What are you thinking?
For all the moments that you guys have already talked about, those were really good. And that kind of helped me at least stay interested in the show instead of just kind of like zoning off as the show is going on. I will say there was enough of that to like keep the show watchable. But the very end, when his love interest, Mihara, Yeah, when she shows up and they all get isekai'd into the world, I was like, oh shit, all right. Now let's see what's going on. I have a feeling it's going to go like spike and then it's going to flatline again, but you know, details. It's like, all right, so now what are we going to do? He kept talking about her, but could he just not move on? And he needed somebody else to kind of like be this new love interest. No, now she's here. What's going to happen? And like Lance had brought up, is he going to be like, I'm your childhood friend that we said we were going to get married together? Or is he never going to say that? And so it's at least brings enough intrigue into the entire series about all these opportunities that he has. So I guess that moment is probably like, yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah. And it might be fair to say that like that's some hardcore recency bias going on too, because it's literally the last thing. And it was such a cliffhanger. Like we didn't need it to drop that hard at the end. That could have been a really good opener for season 2, but no, they went straight into a cliffhanger. And I've talked one time in another episode about how one cliffhanger totally made me unhappy, but like this is an appropriate cliffhanger. It's like, wow, didn't see that coming. Can't wait to see what happens here.
Yep.
I think we're talking about that Dandadan. I didn't like how Dandadan episode 12 ended because like I need episode 13 like right now. You can't fucking end it right here.
Yeah, that cliffhanger made absolutely no sense because it was in the middle of something instead of being like, and here's something.
Right. Yeah, we weren't in the middle of a mission. This is a good, clean kind of cut.
This is an oh shit moment.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, so very appropriate. Did keep me interested. I am interested to see what happens next.
Correct.
I can say that much for sure.
Correct.
Would you agree? Like, it seems like everything happened so quick. He learned all of his powers, everything so quick. They would have maybe dragged out the good stuff a little longer.
They definitely could have.
It may be more of like the learning process, like in Harry Potter. Like, it's interesting. In the beginning, he learns everything and he uses it slowly.
Yep.
But in this one, he just learns everything quick.
I wonder if it's because, like I just mentioned a little bit ago, there's 25 books out that's currently readable right now. So I wonder if they're trying to compact so much information into something like 12 episodes.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
And they're skipping out on a lot.
And I mean, one training arc is fine, but there were like 3 separate slow arcs because we had the school arc, we had the tree village arc, and then we had his parents' hometown arc that they could have expounded on all of them.
Yeah.
And they would have been like, we're talking about not a super like action-packed show to begin with.
Okay.
They do that. I feel like nobody would have finished a season.
Okay.
At least I think if they would have done the tree arc and gave like 3 episodes into him training and being like, hey, this is what you need to do for this, instead of just being like, and he knows everything. And he's stronger than everybody immediately. And we're like, all right, okay.
Yeah, if they would have drowned it out, it could have basically just turned into a slice of life kind of show at that point.
Yeah.
Which would have
It would have been a fantasy slice of life. But yeah.
Would have dropped a lot of it. Other than that, it would start... Maybe they could have kept it as semi-interesting because Fragrant did a great job on making not that important things be interesting, and it's basically a slice of life with a lot of action. So they could have tried to go that route, but I think they would have.
None of the show is that. So
no. If they were to drag it out, that's all. That's all I can truly try to give it, but it's not that in depth.
No, there was nothing impactful in the show that if they would have elongated it, it would have made it worse.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. With that being said, the pacing, I guess, at that rate is understandable.
Pacing was great.
You're like faster.
Fast.
It's like watching everything on 1.5. Just let me get through this.
Yep. Yeah. I wish Crunchyroll had a speed.
No.
Rate.
I could not watch anything at a faster rate.
No.
Oh,
I listen to everything on my podcast at 1.5 to 2 times speed. If I could...
Lance is a psychopath is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
If I can speed up stuff to get more stuff done, I would. Especially that being said...
Could you imagine watching something at 1.5 though?
Oh, definitely. If I could speed up One Piece, if I could speed up Dragon Ball Z, 100% I would have.
That's called Dragon Ball Z Kai. That's how you speed everything up in Dragon Ball Z. But
true, but at the same time, I wanted to consume all of the information, not just edited pieces of everything. I wanted to see the good. I wanted to see the bad. We can bitch about the bad, which gives me the power to say so. But at the same time, I do want to consume literally everything, but I do want to do it faster.
No, Lantz is a psychopath. That's what I'm learning. I've known Lantz for 22 years at this point, and
Yeah, it's been a long time.
and I'm just now learning he's a psychopath. So
Yeah, we've known each other since middle school.
Wow.
Yeah, long friendship
yeah,
based on nerdism.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, nerdism and sports. That's what it revolves around. I don't have anything else to talk about this. All in all, this show was fine. I think you brought a really good point where if somebody is new to anime, this is a decent show because they're not used to all these tropes. If you're fine with a little bit of the little bit of fan service that was in the series wasn't overly anything.
Mm-hmm.
You had a couple bath scenes, which is obviously played out too much from people who watch a lot of anime. But for new people, you're like, oh, well, I mean, they do need to take baths. I guess it's not Food Wars.
Right.
Not a lot of blood either.
Yeah.
No, not too much. They did start getting a little bit more bloody towards the end.
A little bit towards the end.
Especially the
but not
last
too much.
episode.
The themes aren't too dark. Like, there was nothing so oh my god in this show that it's like, yeah, about this show. Like, that just wasn't there. Andy, I think you had mentioned, like, yeah, it wasn't too bad.
No, it wasn't. I could watch a whole thing start to finish in a couple days.
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
And like, it was a very easy watch. I
Yeah.
can say that much.
Yeah, this is mid at best. Very easy to get into. Very easy to just consume.
Yeah.
I said I did it.
This is one of those, all right, here's my checklist. Like, it's on the checklist and it's now off said checklist.
Mhm. But still, that being said, I am curious on what happens next. They did a great job concluding this first season. I want to know what happens next. I want to see some actual drama. I want to see Rio get his ass handed to him to some degree because that's where actual drama comes in. We need to see him strive to get better for himself.
Yes. Oh, one thing I do want to talk about. The two people that are with Miharu, do you remember who they are?
Ooh, no, I didn't really think about that.
So there is a significance to those two people.
Okay. Andy, do you have any
The two
idea?
people that are with him?
With Miharu, so the love interest, his
The girls they save at the end of episode 12.
future wife.
No.
Okay. I'm trying to blank on if they introduce themselves, right? Or do they not? He just saves them and then, all right, Miharu's here, and then the series is over. All right, so
Yeah.
those two are important. We'll put it that way. I won't give it away.
Okay.
They talk,
Interesting,
they
okay.
talk about it in season 2, I know for a fact.
Okay.
So,
That's good to know.
Yeah. Just remember who they are because they are of importance.
Okay. The last thing I want to bring into conversation is the episode also kind of ends with a bunch of Pillar of Lights coming up.
Correct.
Is it safe to assume that all of those Pillar of Lights are people being isekai'd into this world, or do you think that they have some other form of significance?
So the prophecy talks about the 6 pillars of light bringing in heroes to save them from the demons.
Okay.
I will tell you right now, you will learn about them, or you'll learn about what the lights are in the start of season 2.
Okay, great.
So we can kind of speculate about what season 2 is. I kind of don't want
Nope, that's totally fair.
to.
We'll save that for later.
Yeah, if we
Cut that
decide we want to cover season 2, we can talk about season 2 then. But that's all we got for season 1 of Spirit Chronicles. But before anybody goes anywhere, we do have some of our Pokemon quiz.
All right, so let's jump into Generation 1 kind of questions.
Oh, thank God.
I did play around with these questions a little bit more, so let's see how you guys do with this one.
All right, I am at a streak of at least getting one right, so you got to help me out here.
Oh, I got you.
All right, in the anime,
Oh, God.
there was a Pokemon that stole Ash's hat quite often, or at least in like a 1 to 3 episode streak. Who was that Pokemon?
Early episode?
Yes.
Yeah, this was a
He said first couple
first
episodes.
generation. No, first generation. There was a Pokemon. I
Yeah.
would say this is kind of like a mid Pokemon, like mid season 1 material.
Oh,
Okay.
I can throw that much out there.
That doesn't help me. But yeah. Andy, I'll let you take a guess first.
I mean, I probably know it when you say it and be like, oh yeah, but
Right?
I'm going to have to go with Pikachu right now.
Okay.
It's probably not it.
I'm going to guess it's one of the bird Pokemon, so I'm going to say Spearow.
Spearow? Okay. Those are, I would assume those are very early kind of ideas. So you guys are both wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Pokemon who stole Ash's hat quite often was Mankey.
No, I wouldn't have got that actually.
No.
So
no,
there
no.
was an episode arc where they were going for the PK1 belt or something along those lines. It was a fighting scenario where Ash ran into a wild Mankey. Mankey stole his hat, and they had to chase him around. And then there was a Hitmonchan, a Hitmonlee, and then James and Jesse had to go knock out those characters. And then like they stole their Pokemon, joined this gym. Brock had his Geodude. And then in the end, this Mankey evolved into a Primate. And then this Primate wanted Ash's hat. Like he put it on as a victory kind of thing. And then, yeah, so it was all during this small fighting arc.
Sure. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was question 1. Hopefully the listeners could remember that episode. Question number 2. My face is yellow. I have a big mouth. And I have skinny legs. Who am I?
Damn, Lance.
I did not know where you're going with that to begin with.
Repeat the question.
My face is yellow. I have a big mouth. And I have skinny legs. Who am I?
Is that Mr. Mime?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pretty sure Mr. Mime has a white face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But skinny legs is there.
Skinny legs.
Not a
big mouth. Yellow?
Yellow. My face is yellow. The answer is going to be Bellsprout.
Sure. Yeah.
You're stretching on that. But I like it.
That's like telling me, hey, here's the shades of the Pokemon. Guess the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's almost where I went. I was going to describe a couple colors of different other Pokemon. I'm like,
I might have had a better chance if you had described just colors. But yeah.
Face is yellow. That's what I gave you.
These are tough.
Yeah, right.
All right. Final question. What level does Magnemite evolve at?
I know.
Yep. It's always got to be an evolution question.
Oh, man.
Well, I never trained Magnemite, so I
yeah,
don't
right.
know.
Nobody. This is a low tier Pokemon in Gen 1, so not many people played with them.
So it's only 2 tiers. 26.
We guess 18.
Ooh, that'd be so. If he evolved at 18, that'd be pretty awesome. Unfortunately, the answer is 30.
I knew it was going to be 30. Because you said something about it earlier, Pokemon being 30.
Oh, behind the curtains, I was telling Andy about what kind of Pokemon questions I've asked in the past. I told him a lot of evolution questions, and you'd be surprised on what levels early Gen 1 Pokemon actually evolved at. And then I told him about one of our previous episodes, Tentacool evolving at 30. Didn't think about that as any form of hints. I was just giving
No.
Yeah, so Magnemite's also another level 30.
All right. Cool. I don't think I ever used Magnemite. I'm pretty sure for the decks, I just caught a Magneton and a Magnemite.
Yep. Just got him just to get him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not that useful.
No.
So yeah, that's my Pokemon quiz.
Tough one this week.
My streak is broken again.
I will be honest, I thought that you guys might have got the Bellsprout one.
That was tough.
You think way too high of me.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Unfortunately, this is Matt's second time getting 0 for 3. And also, Andy, unfortunately for you, you failed this one too. So I'm sorry, you guys. Hopefully our listeners did a little bit better.
Yeah, we'll see on that one. And that's a wrap. That's all we got for this episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. Please make sure to check out the Anime Show on Facebook and Instagram. See all the awesome anime content they have on there. Please subscribe to us on whatever platform you are listening to us on. Drop a like and leave a comment. Let us know, what did you think of Spirit Chronicles Season 1?
Later, guys.
See?